versus make dogs pull on lead. If a dog makes their own decisions, does that make dogs pull? YouTube's got some pretty creative ideas about what makes dogs pull on lead. Everything from the dog wants to be the alpha, to the humans not being a good leader, to if a dog walks in front of you, that's what causes anxiety. That's a new one. By the end of this video, you'll know what really causes dogs to pull on lead, and more importantly, how to fix it while both of you are having fun. I'm Dr. Natalie Rogers. I'm an accredited professional dog trainer and I lecture at one of Australia's top universities, teaching psychology students about anxiety, stress, animal learning and behaviour. Here at Canine Concepts, I show you how to train your dog with fun games backed up by serious science. Pulling on lead comes down to two things. The first is a lack of calmness. Since 1908, scientists have known that if an animal is too pepped up or too tired, their ability to learn new things and to perform those skills goes down. The best learning and performance happens in this Goldilocks level of arousal where they're not too pepped up, but they're also not too tired. So if you're about to take your dog on a walk, but they're frantic, hyper, or unresponsive, hold your horses. Play these games first to get their head in a place where it can learn. The best place to learn these games is in your house. The first game we're going to play is scatter feeding. Scatter feeding is where you're going to scatter some of your dog's normal everyday food allowance on the ground, and they're going to sniff out and eat that food. Sniffing helps lower dogs' heart rate and their arousal, so it's going to promote calmness. Scent games work beautifully for this too, so stick around because later on in the video I'm going to show you a fun scent game that literally any dog can play. Scatter feeding sounds really straightforward, and it is, but you'd be surprised how many clients I speak to whose dogs step out the front door and they can't eat because they're already outside their Goldilocks threshold. So it's really important to deliberately practice scatter feeding in different rooms of your house. Practice in your garden, practice near your front door, practice on your driveway and out the front of your house. Find out where the edge of their Goldilocks bubble is. Where can they scatter feed and where it becomes a little bit more tricky. Deliberately practicing things like scatter feeding on the edge of their bubble helps to stretch that bubble so they can remain calm even when they're in more tricky environments. Another game I really love using to promote calmness is figure of eight walking. Now, Absolute Dogs have a really great video on figure of eight walking, so I'm going to link it in the description below. One of the best things about figure eight walking is that you don't actually need to use food. So if you find that your dog is unable to take food, even though you've been practicing your scatter feeding, this is the perfect game for you. It can help to match your dog's speed and their arousal level when you first start off. So you might like to start off nice and fast, and then as your dog starts to settle into the environment, doing lovely shake-offs like that, then you can slow them down even more. Just 5 minutes of figure eight walking can be a total game changer. The second thing that causes dogs to pull on lead is when they see the environment as more valuable than sticking close to you. Some trainers will approach loose lead walking as they need to know that pulling is wrong. Actually, they don't need to know that pulling makes bad stuff happen. Because when any being truly values hanging close to another being, they're going to make that choice all on their own, without the threat of being choked. So how do we make this happen? We teach our dogs where the value is. A simple way to do this is to offer your dogs an experience that they enjoy. What does your dog find valuable? Do they like chasing bold food? Or maybe do they like chasing a food lure? For high drive dogs like Havoc, they might enjoy catching food. Maybe they enjoy chasing a toy. Or if your dog would prefer a fine dining experience, then feel free to present their food piece by piece as you go about your walk. And really, if your dog adores food, this can fast track your loose lead walking. Use it to your advantage. Just like you did with scatter feeding, practice these food delivery experiences in different environments. Find their Goldilocks bubble and then start to stretch it out bit by bit by bit. Sometimes you might find that you need to switch between different food delivery experiences so your dog can eat. Are you able to eat that? Yeah, not interested. Fed to mouth. You can see that's a bit easier. Tossed in the air, and we actually get, woo, that's fun. But my dog's not food motivated, I hear you cry. Well, technically, if a dog wasn't food motivated, they would be dead. But if you find that your dog's top experience is outside of something that you can offer them, then we want to find a way to put ourselves in the picture. So if your dog loves sniffing more than anything else, you might like to play a scent game. One of my favourite scent games to play is the Find It game. What we're going to do is take a piece of food, something like a piece of tripe stick that's really stinky is fantastic. We're going to hide the piece of food and then send our dog to find it. So I'm going to hide my food here and then send my dog to go and find it. Make sure that the hiding spot is not too tricky. If you find that your dog is looking back to you instead of sniffing out their treat, that tells you you made it too hard. Just make the next game a little easier until they build their skills, and they can do this not just in and around your house, but out on a walk too. You can also use the Premack principle or the grandmother rule too. Do a little bit of what I want, then we'll do what you want. And this might start off as just do 3 steps of loose lead walking and then we go and run in the water. The more your dog loves the activity, the more powerful this game can be. If my dog loves the water enough, I can use that experience to grow a perfect heel right the way down the beach. But I've got to be prepared to grow what I want bit by bit. Start small and give your dog lots of easy wins while they're learning. Putting yourself in the picture like this transfers the value of that experience to you. So as you do these fun things together, they're walking on a loose lead, not just because they want food, they're hanging out with you because they enjoy the experience of being near you. So you see, it's less about your dog looking to you for guidance and direction and leadership, and more about your dog choosing to stay close to you because they value your company. And the great thing about building loose leash walking by building value in proximity, it transfers to off lead too. No equipment necessary. If you're after a complete training program to help with your dog's loose lead walking, then check out Canine Connect. I'll link it in the description below. For even more tips on how to build value in proximity, check out this video.